How are we, folks? We're back.
Good, mate. Good.
Good. Yes.
Surviving.
Good.
I'm dusting off the blue Yeti. It feels like it's been so long since we've recorded one of these. It's been like 2 weeks for me and Connor Zave.
Really?
So,
Shit, true.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, crap. It actually has. It's been a while.
Yeah. We had to sort of...
Reschedule.
This episode needs to come out in like a day and a half's time. So... Anyway, so we're joined by Xavier again today, which is fun. It's exciting. He's the knowledge bank of Doctor Who.
That's true.
Hello. He's the library.
Among other things.
Hey!
Hey. True. Cool. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Forest of the Dead and the first part of that, which is the Silence in the Library.
Yeah.
Xavier requested kind of being on this episode because I think Xavier, maybe I'm speaking for you here, but I think one of your favorite parts of Doctor Who is the romantic side of the Doctor and the arc that coincides with that. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, I've talked about it before, but yeah, I find it fascinating. The transformation through the writing, specifically in Russell's era, of how he turned this, asexual kind of... There was like a rule in the classic series, which was like no hanky-panky in the TARDIS, and he became one of the foremost romantic characters, especially with David. David was always the romantic Doctor.
Right.
Totally. He gets a little fancy, doesn't he? He gets a little... He loves to fancy the gals.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so exciting two-parter here. Isn't it weird recording on a Saturday morning?
Yeah, it is weird. This is like... I think the only other time we did it was with Xavier for Go on the Fireplace, I think. I think that's the last time we did it on a Saturday. It is strange because it's actually daylight.
No, but that was Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so that's
Saturday
literally
morning.
daylight right now, which we're not used to
For
recording in.
It's so weird.
Weird.
It's just also like... I feel like I've been awake for a couple of hours, but I'm so like weirdly energized at nighttime.
Yeah, I work better at night as well.
Now I'm just like,
yeah.
hi, welcome back to our podcast.
There's a weird lethargic nature to being awake during the day.
Yeah.
I love working at night. It's the best.
It's good fun. Anyways, we'll do what we can to make this as exciting as possible. Xavier, are you pumped?
I am pumped. I'm always pumped.
Connor, are you pumped?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped, man. I'm just playing with my Doctor Who pen.
Pumped? Good.
And I'm ready to fucking rock.
For fuck's sake. Alrighty, hold on to your cats, kids. Cats? Oh no. Hold on to your hats, kids.
Your hats, yeah.
Let's go into the intro.
Let's do it. 50% pop cat.
Alrighty, that doesn't get any better. Like I said, today we're talking about Silence in the Library and the Forest of the Dead. So, Silence in the Library is the 8th episode of the 4th series of the revived British science fiction television series Doctor Who. It was first broadcast on BBC One on the 31st of May 2008. It is the first of a two-part story. The second part, The Forest of the Dead, aired on the 7th of June. The two episodes make up the second two-parter Stephen Moffat contributed to the series after The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances from the first series. In the episode, the archaeologist River Song, Alex Kingston, summons the alien time traveller, the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, to a planet-sized library in the 51st century where thousands of visitors disappeared without a trace 100 years earlier, when the library was shut off. The episode establishes that River Song has met the Doctor on many occasions, but at this point in his life, the Doctor does not recognize her. Wowee.
It does sound good.
Big episode.
Yeah.
I
It does
have to
sound good,
mention
still.
that the character continuity of River Song is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty sick.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Go on, Zave. Talk about that for a little bit.
Well, just the fact that River's still the same River that we will come to know. Where they shot it 5 years later, there was the Singing Towers of Beryllium, and it's still the same character, and you can tell that.
Totally.
Of course, when we first meet her in Matt's run, she's still younger, and with the Angels, that Angels episode, The Crash of the Byzantium. That's it.
That one.
And the fact that it's also like everything that River mentions basically happens in the show is amazing as well. But no, she's much younger then, and so we know that she's different, but the character is ostensibly the same, which is amazing from a writing standpoint, especially when you're dealing with time travel and acting.
That was sort of my first thought when she first started talking in this episode, was like, she seems the same, she's fun, she's just a bit like kind of hardened, which makes sense for her character at that point to be a little bit more colder and
experienced,
she's older, wiser, and yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zave, I don't think you've listened to or been on any of the shows since we've sort of taken a new route with how we've structured it. Maybe we have. I think it was like the end of season 3 we started doing this, so maybe. But Connor kind of runs us through the episode.
I'll do my best.
We just like chime in with our points as we sort of go through the episode. And
cool.
As
I would like to mention before we do that something quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on. Hit me.
So the Dr. Moon is played by Colin Salmon, I think is his name. I wrote it down correctly. He was Walter Steele on Arrow, so the stepdad to Oliver Queen.
Oh shit!
In Arrow,
he was too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah, he's also General Zod in the Krypton series, which makes for an interesting continuity thing for the TV DC universe.
You are the databank.
And
you
then
are the library.
Node 2, the second node they come across is Josh Dallas, who was the original actor to play Fandral in Thor. He's also Prince Charming in Once Upon a Time, and for me his best performance is Ben Stone in the new show Manifest. So yeah, he's a significant actor now.
Did you just know this stuff when watching the episode?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I made a note of it so that I wouldn't mess up on the show. But I knew this watching it. Yes.
Wow.
That is you're smart. You are literally the library. You're a little girl in the center of the library.
Cal.
Yeah. Just knows everything.
You're Cal.
You're Cal.
So you're saying I'm a 4-year-old girl?
Yes.
Yep. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Alright, so we ready then?
Alright, Connor, without any further ado, take it away, baby.
Okay, let's do it. Alright, so obviously it starts, we get to see the library, which is like, it looks beautiful. It's honestly, it's like, the episode starts, you're kind of just in awe of like how amazing this planet looks. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I just think a whole planet that's a library is such a great idea. And it's such a classic Moffat thing to do, where it's just like an amazing idea that is quite simple, but he just takes it to the stratosphere. And we get to see, of course, the child, which is like, looks like it's just, looking after the place. And then we get to see the Doctor and Donna come in. It's kind of like a POV shot of them talking to the child, which we later find out it's like a bit of a sphere, like a ball. And then we get to see the Doctor, which we later find out has actually gotten a request from River to come to the library because she needs his help. Of course, River doesn't know, like we said, that it's a different timeline for the Doctor. It's actually the first time he meets her in the library. It was a really good. Like just speech about books, because I've recently got back into reading again. I hadn't read for years. I know you read, Aiden. And it was a really good speech about how people never really stop reading books, and the fact that people will always keep doing that. And I personally believe that, despite the fact that they have Kindles and stuff, I still think that people will always buy books. And the idea that every book in the universe is in there is like so cool, and this like data bank, and it's really eerie. This whole planet has no one in it.
Yeah. I was just saying that, the fact that people will always read books. I actually did an interview for our live production unit with the publisher, and her opinion on it is one that I align with, that nature of getting the book and the smell.
Yeah, 100%.
Physical flipping through the pages.
Yeah.
And the ability to give it to someone, this book changed my life, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally
it's something that you can't replicate.
How good?
I agree. I literally had that conversation this week with my mum because she has a Kindle, and I was like, "There's nothing better than holding an actual book."
I agree. And I love it's the same reason I love vinyls and Blu-rays. Like I love like the artwork
Yeah,
that you can
yeah,
get
of
on
course.
them and shit like that is a big
Yeah,
big
physical
part of it.
media, yeah.
Just flying through there. The score in that opening scene. In fact,
beautiful.
throughout the entire episode, the amount of times that I was like, this is peaks Murray in season 4 so far.
Yeah, man, it's
Sorry,
beautiful.
this is Murray's peak in season 4 so far.
I have a note. Of course, I took
Of course,
notes.
3 pages.
I have
no
a
more, no
note. Well, actually, 3 sides of a palm card, but yeah, close enough. I tried to keep it small. It's just music! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark!
True.
I would like to mention that the Doctor's theme in this is used brilliantly because it's all warped and unstable, and it kind of like they do some post-processing with it, with the voice, and it makes it sound all creepy, and it's so good for the setting.
Yeah, it really is like a eerie kind of magical, like mystical score. It's so many things at once, but it's like calming but eerie and off-putting, but it's so many things, and it's so beautiful.
In a way, it's almost like leading into what becomes kind of the Moffat era score, where things are a bit more like fantasy and stuff.
Really
and this is obviously our first seed of the Moffat era with River coming in and stuff. So like, it's nice that there's a little bit of continuity there sound wise.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And then
and
yeah, go on.
So continuing on canonically with what happens.
Of course, yeah.
I'll let you continue after I say
fine,
this,
go ahead.
but the interplay with Dr. Moon, where we think that, it's a standard thing where, it's the psychiatrist trying to convince the child that that their dreams are like stupid and you shouldn't believe them, despite the fact that it's like we know the real world is the dream world.
Right.
But then it turns out the Dr. Moon is on our side, and I love that. That was, I forgot about that, and I loved it.
Yeah, totally. And then, so of course no one's on the planet, which is just, it's not really eerie. I don't know. Libraries are pretty scary place to me, a bit. It's just something a bit off-putting about it, and then the whole planet's a library, and it's like empty. You kind of like, it's just something off-putting about it. And of course we get to see where we came in before the intro.
I like libraries. I don't think they're creepy, but maybe that's my academically oriented mind. I'm like, knowledge, give it to me.
I don't know, just just the set alone for the episode is just so cool, and it's so eerie. all the dark alleyways and stuff, and of course we're going to see River come in with her whole crew. And I'm just going to get this out of the way, everyone. Everyone's going to hate me for saying this, but I don't like River's song very much. I really don't. I've never really liked her character at all. I know. Everyone, get it out your system. I'm going to get so much hate for saying that.
Get off this show.
I've never liked her character.
So,
I'm sorry. I've never liked her character.
Damn,
she's good.
son.
I have a distinct problem with how they handled with Matt and River's romance,
Right?
Because coming off like 10's run, which is literally Rose is everything, and then I leave Rose with a copy of myself, and that creates the villain version of myself, and then he regenerates, and there's no echoes of that, you know?
Right.
I don't like that. It's just literally like, River's my everything now, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's a Moff criticism.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But it's, this scenes are written well, but yeah.
I always found when I was like growing up with the show, I liked River in this, but then when like Moffat took over running the show, I was always like, oh, she's so like weird and she's like too much. But like, I don't know. It's
River's a better character than Matt around River, in my opinion. Because whenever Eleven's spending time with River, he just goes complete kooky bananas crazy. But I must flirt. That is my only goal.
Yeah.
Entirely.
I always would like hate whenever River song was on. I would be like, oh, she's just so cringy. But I think it's the same thing as how I feel about the Moffat era now, where at the time I was like, what is this cringe? But now I'm like, oh, fuck it. It's a bit of fun. And I'll talk about this later on.
Yeah.
But as Connor knows, I've gotten into a bit of Big Finish lately, and I listened to the first series
of course.
The Diary of River Song. and Alex Kingston is fucking great in it. And I
agree. Like, Alex Kingston's really good. Like, she does perfect for the script she's given.
The acting in this,
totally.
In her final speech, where
brilliant.
she gives her the spiel about how she knows she should have known she was going to die from the beryllium thing and the new haircut and the suit. It was just like, and I watched that episode, the Husbands of River Song, just before I watched this, and it was like,
perfect connection.
It was so well done.
Yeah, there's something really cool about the idea about it, like connecting, like the first time we meet her is technically her last time in her timeline. There's something about only like Doctor Who could do something like that, and it's like it pays off all those years later, but it's so cool to rewatch it now and know that.
Yeah, and her speech at the end, where it's like, I hope for, like, with all my heart, that the Doctor never believes that people can die. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's how what saves her. It was like, why did I give her a screwdriver?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I'm smart.
That is a great twist as well, because like you think the episode's ending, and they're like walking off, and you're like, oh, this will be the last shot.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he runs back, and you're like, oh wait, there's more. Fuck! And it's just this epic final minute or two that's just epic and emotional and just so good.
Yeah. I think, that, like, I want to mention, though, that Catherine Tate, when the children disappear, when she's worried about the life of the children, her acting is brilliant. Like, coming from a comedic background, she was only known for her comedy characters. And doing that very serious, and then in the following episode, Turn Left, just all of that is amazing. Yeah. No, for the following episode's Midnight. Anyway, later on is Turn Left.
Yes, yeah.
And that was just for someone that's not, I don't think she's classically trained in acting, that was very good.
Yeah.
100%. No, she is. She really shines in the second part. She hasn't really got much to do in this episode.
I agree.
Yeah, totally. And I enjoy the second part a lot more. I didn't. Again, I was going to hate you for saying this. I never liked these episodes, and I didn't really like them rewatching them. I don't know what's wrong with me. Even my mum walked in when I was watching it, and she was like, I love these episodes. I was like, I don't know why, but I just never have. I think the Vashna artists are so cool. It's such a sick concept. Like, I love when they throw that chicken into it, and it's just bone. Such a great way to show what they... it's such a simple way of showing, like, how dangerous they are, like piranhas in the air, the Doctor says, and it's just... Taking a simple thing like a shadow, which everyone, obviously everyone in every room and everywhere you go in life, there's shadows. It's taking those little things and making them scary. It's what Doctor Who does great,
Yeah.
And making it a tangible threat with the ghosting, where we have to sit with the death of a character for like 5 minutes. It's
really cool.
Very well done.
Yeah.
So we see that first, and when the first time we see that, it's really like eerie and distressing. You just get to see like the skeleton and the ripped suit. It just looks great, and it's just such a great scene. And Catherine Tate's performance in that scene is amazing. Yeah, I agree.
Boys, we're jumping around a lot here. Where were we in Silence of the Library?
We were at the beginning. The Doctor had just arrived.
Yeah, so
River had just arrived.
Yeah, River's just arrived. I spoke about Vashnaradas. We're gonna see the first person die, and then I love when like the Doctor's like he's on the floor, he's with like the Sonic, and he's trying to find one in the darkness. So eerie and just Euroslim directs this, doesn't he? Really well directed.
I think it was Euroslim. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really well directed, and
I agree.
It just the whole setup with like when River's talking and acting like they both know each other, and it's like a timeline where they both do know each other, and obviously David Doctor's like the fight, like who even are you, and that whole scene's great. And of course we get to see the book, the classic book.
Had the fact that she calls him pretty boy.
Yeah, and he doesn't even react to it.
Because like outside of continuity, David's the pretty Doctor. It's quite funny, just meta.
Yeah. I wonder how much of Moffat...
The moment when River realizes that this is... Sorry, you go.
I wonder how much of Moffat's plan he had for River.
Yeah, I know. I wondered, hey. Did he know he was taken over, do you think?
I'm not sure because
I think so. I think at this point he knew.
I have a
He must
BTS
have.
fact about sort of River and a bit about the writing of her that I'll get into later when we get to that segment. And it kind of alludes to that. Not that much was kind of laid out for where he was going with it, you know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to mention that the moment that River realizes that this is the first time the Doctor's met her, and like everything that washes over her, like with the context of what we know, it's so good.
Yeah, she's really great. Just in like her facial expressions, how she reacts when she finds out about that, and just like how she kind of shifts whenever being one-on-one with the Doctor from that point on. Because before she was just kind of like being a bit fun for those first couple of scenes, but now like whenever she's one-on-one, you can just tell she's kind of like mourning or getting ready to mourn within herself, which is really
Even
great.
the Sonic is so cool.
And the fact that she knows Donna's future, that's foreshadowed at the end of in the beginning, and then at the end of the episode where Donna's in as one of the nodes, and she's completely perplexed by that because she knows Donna's future. Yeah. So it's like, how can Donna be killed now when Donna's supposed to go through this harrowing experience?
Yeah, I mean,
Also, Donna's life is a complete tragedy. Honestly, she falls in love with this guy. He has a stutter. He can't call out to her when he sees her.
Yeah.
And then later on, everything else happens.
I know, it's heartbroken.
Donna's life is a mess.
Yeah, no, it's so sad. Like, those scenes are really cool. And she's great. Like, her arc in it is really great. She's such a great companion. I wish she had more scenes interacting with River. I love how she's like, she's like yelling at River saying like, do you know him or don't you? Because it's literally, that's what I was thinking when I first watched it, because I was so confused. And even seeing the Sonic was like, why does she have a Sonic? And then of course in part 2 she says his name, and like, I just wanted answers. I'm just an impatient person, but I remember like it took us years to get them all. But
I remember
I struggle to think he doesn't have a plan, but yeah,
I remember the series 5 finale at the end. River's like, you will know very soon. And I was like, another fucking year? Are you kidding me?
Literally. Yeah, literally. They dragged that shit on. That was
good. It wasn't even a full year, though. Because A Good Man Goes to War was midway through the season 6, right? Yeah. So we find out who she is then.
Yeah. But still, that's...
Good Man Goes to War.
That's 2011? And this is 2008.
2011, yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. Absolute madness.
Also, I'd like to mention Alex Kingston, like, in terms of herself committing to the wrong for that long.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Britain has they have a very good track record with keeping actors for, like, bit parts, like, throughout the series. There's... the only precedent I have is Red Dwarf, where the guy that John Lovett, whatever his name is, who plays Holly in the ship's computer in Red Dwarf, he leaves because of something in one of the seasons, but like they get him back like 10, 20 years later as for a cameo because like they care and he cares, It's very, very good.
Crazy.
Yeah, people seem to have that kind of relationship with the show, which is really sweet. And I think obviously it helps that it's been such a legacy in British television for so long, and it's an honor to be a part of it. But yeah, I agree. Like, to have someone like River coming back left, right, and center it's just a testament to the show and the writing and the relationship the characters have.
Yeah,
I think it's a really good thing you don't see a lot in TV shows.
Well, it's even more impactful now because Alex has just released, as we now know, a book on an actual book from River Song's perspective,
which is really cool.
Like,
yeah,
she genuinely cares.
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely.
That was part of me
definitely.
Because
and you can tell
this is like the third in the last like 2 years. It's the third Doctor Who book based around a character, but written by the character. Because we had Scratchman, which was written by Tom Baker. And then we had At Childhood's End, which was about Ace, and that was written by Sophie Aldred. And now we have this one. There's part of me that's like, is the BBC baby hiring like ghostwriters and writing them?
Really?
And Probably not.
I think Alex Kingston, like, I mean, this is entirely possible, but the way that from interviews and stuff, the way that she's very, like, lexically oriented, I don't think Alex Kingston would be. Maybe Tom, and I don't know Sophie Aldred's personality that well, but I'm pretty sure Alex Kingston wouldn't be one of the ones to have gone down that route. But we can always check. It would be in the thanks in the book, so when we get it, we can always check.
Because it's just like she's like a busy actress, you know. She lives in Cali, I think she lives in California. At least she used to, and so it's I don't know. I'm just like, how does she have the time to write this novel, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but we shall see. That's just me churning the rumor mill. Anyways, so we have Miss Evangelista asking if she can just hold something. I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that her character is such a tragedy. Just like,
I used to think, like, who's this dumb bitch when I was watching it, but this time I was like, oh, like it's actually just kind of sad. Like, she seems like a nice girl. That's just, I feel like I've been in those situations where I'm around people that are like clicking. Sorry, excuse me. That are like clicking heaps, and they almost get like arrogant with their intelligence. And if you're not kind of in on that knowledge or whatever, you do kind of feel like, oh, can I be included? And you start to feel like you're the dumb one.
I'd like to formally apologize for my actions at any point in my history.
I mean, like, for example, what rings to me mostly is my year 10 math class, where I was put into the advanced one, but because like 32 students would get into the top math class, I was basically kid number 32 that just got in and did not. I could not keep up with what we were doing, and I was either failing tests or getting like just above 50%. And all the friends that I was closest with in that class were all getting really cocky and getting like 80 or 90%. And
right,
I would always like cop shit.
Yeah, see, I just know that I have a tendency to flaunt my intelligence sometimes.
But
so
you flaunt your geeky knowledge, which I think is a little different.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's science related, and that's like,
I've never found it to be an issue with you, Xavier, so don't stress.
Anyway, that's a me issue. We should probably talk about the show.
So then Miss Evangelista dies.
Yes. So she's dead. And we're going to hear the, it's like the echo. Which again is a really smart idea.
Yeah, ghosting.
And
sad.
pretty fucked up, to be honest, and terrifying. And again, the performances is really great, like we said. I love how Donna's, once again, you see how much of a caring person she is, and she says, well, that's one of the worst things we've ever seen, and I think you can really believe that it is. And again, the set is beautiful, and it's so eerie. All the cobwebs and shit. It's just, totally. I love how the body is just skeletons, but it just happened. Like, normally it takes like ages for a body to decay down to a skeleton, but this literally happened in a second because of the Vashnarada, and they find out it's Vashnarada, the piranhas in the air. And I know, really sick villain, which never came back again. We later find out they actually were from that planet. And I like how they also mentioned that there's a few swarms of them on Earth, and they're like on every planet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
good way to scare the kids.
Did it scare you as a kid?
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Xavier?
Definitely.
No, not really. But I'm too logic oriented.
Yeah.
Like, I get freaked out by things that mess with my sense of reality. That's like, things like the Truman Show.
Yeah,
I can't, like, but like actual physical threats that I know are not real, I don't really have a problem with.
Interesting. There's still, I think for me this was always the least scary of the Moffat episodes. Because I used to always think Moffat would always pen the really scary episodes of the season, and which he pretty much does for Russell's era. But this one I always felt was like, it was spooky, and maybe shortly after watching it I would feel a little spooked by it, but upon the whole I always felt like this one wasn't as scary as his other ones.
Yeah.
On that note, Turn Left freaked me out. Yeah, because if your whole life and the life, like, because I fell in love with the Doctor at that point, like, if someone's whole existence is catered to the fact that you have to make one decision in your life, it's just like, time travel causality stuff, and the fact that every decision you make has ramifications. The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Butterfly,
Yeah, it's just like, what decision have I made that I would have seen incidental that could result in the death of someone in the future? It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is a bit spooky.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, I know Moffat was always my favorite writer with Russell's era. This was the first episode where I was like, oh no, I don't know. I think maybe he's kind of starting to think that he can make the most wackiest ass story and make it work, and clearly it did, because everyone seems to like it but me. I know a few people who don't like it, so it did work, but it was the first time I was like, and this is notoriously a time for me watching Doctor Who when I was growing up where I was like getting a bit older, I guess, and not enjoying it as much. And episodes like this just didn't help me. It was like my favorite writer now was starting to disappoint me a little bit. I don't know. Just a bit whack. It still is whack to me.
If you want something pretty whack, have Miss Evangelista and Donna in the fantasy world. That's a whack scene.
I always enjoyed this one, but I don't know if I watched it a crazy amount though. But I definitely always enjoyed it, I think. The Dr. Moon stuff is like, is this in the first? It might be in the second part. I don't know. No, I think it's the first part when she starts spamming the buttons on the remote and all the books start coming out of the wall.
The books start flying out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first part. That's the very beginning. Yeah.
I was always thinking like that's so silly. Like just as a concept, like that each button on the remote, I guess, is somehow affecting.
I think it's less literal than you think it is, because she is the controller of the library. So in order to access that thing, it's like a metaphor that is used in her dreamscape that creates the action in reality.
I see.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
I mean, it's again.
I would like to note, in terms of wacky, the two kids that are in the reality that everyone has are both white. So what if, like, I don't know, two people of color want to have children?
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's true. What happens next?
That's a plot hole that I recognized immediately when I was watching it.
Well, next we get to see that the shadow is actually attached itself to someone, and then they put the suits back on, and it kills the fucker, and a skull pops out the front. It's cool. Again, I don't really. I don't know. There's just nothing was really working for me. It's well done. It looks great. The score's amazing. The acting's great. And there's such a cool villain. And of course, who turn out the lights. It's a bit repetitive, but it's really cool. And then they get chased through the library. River has a squareness gun, which of course we saw first in Moffat's first episode, like Doctor Dances and Empty Child and all that. And then we get to see that Donna's one of those bloody, they're like mannequins almost. And the head turns around and it's Donna. And obviously she's not dead, but some people thought she was. And a bit of a cliffhanger, because I mean, obviously they can get. I don't know why everyone thought it was such a huge cliffhanger. Like they just got out of the room using a squareness gun, and then they're stuck in a bit of a corner with one of the Vashnaradas come after them. And it's like, what are we gonna do? It's like
the cliffhanger is that Donna is dead.
Yeah,
the cliffhanger is that Donna is dead, because from our perspective, she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like part 1 very much. I liked part 2 a lot more though. But yeah, that's about it.
Part 2 is a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to mention that all of the guest stars are amazing.
They are all really amazing. They are, really great throughout, I think. Especially
when...
Oh my god.
Yeah, but then there's the other one that, the lass that knows she's going to die, and she puts on a brave face, and the doctor...
Yeah, she's good.
...takes a shine to her because of it. That's I completely understand why the doctor would really like this person after that. Anita.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's one of the strongest guest star casts. This and Waters of Mars, really good guest stars.
They are good.
Yeah, totally agree.
I was going to say before, I always felt like in two-parters of Who, the majority of the time, part 1 is the strong part, and then the second part is where things kind of lag a bit. But this definitely felt for me. Whilst I enjoyed part 1 quite a lot, I was like, oh, I do remember this being a bit better than this. And then when part 2 happened, I was like, oh fuck, this is where the real good shit is, you know?
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah,
It's definitely better.
So, any last thoughts on part 1?
less CGI in that part 1,
Which is always good for Doctor Who.
I mean, but like in the second part where the Doctor's running through the hallways and we see them running through the hallways, it really brings credence to the actual world that they're in.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I did think the production design of the library throughout both parts was really good. Like, from the sets they used to the actual like on-set locations they went to, I thought was really cool throughout. I love that balcony. That was an amazing choice. Anyways, on to part 2. Take it away, Connor.
I literally watched this today, funnily enough, so it's actually fresh in my brain. I literally watched it like an hour ago. Any shiz. So, yes, the cliffhanger of last episode, and then the squareness gun. Boom. And everyone's going to try and figure out what's going on with Donna. And we have this great scene where we get to see Donna in the forest. And it kind of like plays with your mind a lot, and it's really well done. Again, I enjoy this episode, this part a lot more than the first one. And of course, we get to see like Dr. Moon and all that. We get to see Donna meeting her partner. Something we haven't seen Donna. Donna hasn't really found happiness for a long time with someone else, so it was lovely to see that. And like Xavier said, he's got like a starter to kind of even say her name. They go on a cute little date, a little fishing trip, and then she has kids, and it's all happening so quickly. But
she has Deadpool
really cool.
skills in this. It's an important distinction. She notices that time is like a dream.
Yeah. It like plays with you. It plays with you a lot, and it's really well done. It's classic Moffatisms, as everyone says. It really does play with your mind, and in a really creepy and unusual way. And similar to the first episode, where we get to see something happen before it happens, like with the Doctor and Donna smashing through the door in the first episode, we get to see Dr. Moon become the Doctor for like a few seconds, and you get to see him like shout Donna's name, and that's how he knows that she's still out there somewhere in like a consciousness, which is cool. And yes. So they try and get back.
Well, what do we think? I know we touched on it a bit already, but what do we think of all the Donna, the Donna side of the story?
It's my favourite part.
She actually has stuff to do.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, okay, it's a good part.
What about you, Dave?
Like, Alex and David's interactions is the best part of the entire thing, especially when they call them out for being a married couple, and an old married couple, and us and us with the foresight are like, woohoo, yes.
Yeah.
That's a great moment.
I just I'm recording, Dad. Sorry.
It is enjoyable.
Dad, thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Sorry. Close the door, mommy, please.
Classic.
Thank you. Sorry, my dad gave me some food. This happens all the time.
Classic.
Pretty much.
Every
so
episode.
And then one of the other crew members gets knocked off again by Fashion Arriver. I love how it has like two shadows. It's actually really eerie, and there's a continuation of like the mystery of like who Cal is, and that's again it's intriguing, and there's something about it just doesn't work well with me. I like how the Doctor finally gets one of them to talk. I think it's like one of the Daves. It starts talking, and then you get to find out it actually was born on the planet and isn't just taking it over. I thought it was a really cool twist, and it makes sense because like libraries are dark, and they invested they came from the trees, and of course books are made out of trees. It was really good.
Yeah, I don't like the climax, not the primary climax, not the secondary climax. Secondary climax is brilliant, but the primary climax of like, hey, I'm the Doctor, look me up, piss off. Because that's happened a lot, and it's just a cop-out in my mind.
True.
Also, it's really stupid when the Doctor happens to be standing under a trap door, and it opens, and somehow he goes down but grabs something. It makes no sense.
It's the silliest part of the episode, and it's a big flaw to me when he goes through the floor. Yeah, like you said, he grabs onto something. The music gets cool, and it's funny how Cal's watching it as like a superhero TV show, and the music's like,
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Cal's watching Doctor Who.
Yeah, the library's on
Doctor Who
TV.
in Doctor Who. No, so that Look Me Up thing, it works best for the girl who waited. The 11th hour is the best use of like, totally. I'm the Doctor, look me up, because he's not. It's just a good like way to go. Okay, this is actually the Doctor, but like doing that repeatedly when you already know it's the Doctor, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, I know we're kind of flying through this episode here, but it is quite a bit of just like character work and bit of backwards and forwards running through corridors, and it's all done really well. What did we think of the whole Cal saved thing?
As in to look after the library?
Good.
Yeah, it's like the people are saved. Not saved.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And also we find out that Dr. Moon's almost like a virus protection. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lore in this is great. The backstory and the lore was very well done.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think they balance the two stories really well, and back with Donna, like the again, there's something off. It's almost like a fever dream in a way. Like, and I like how you get to see Miss was it Evangelista? Is that how you say it? Yeah. And she's in that dark veil, and it's insanely like off-putting and creepy. And she leaves a note to meet her at the park the next day, and you get to see Cal saying "Don't go," and that scene's amazing. And especially when she says all the children are the same, that's some creepy ass shit.
I would like to point out that it permeates. I have a problem with that scene because she says the reason she's smart now is because a decimal point was off in her IQ. But that permeates the idea that one's IQ is a measure of one's intelligence, which isn't. I mean, it's intelligence quota is what it's called, but it's. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call.
Crikey.
Shall we take the reins whilst you take the phone call, or?
He's gone.
Save.
That's all right.
All right.
Did you like the children, Aiden?
I love children. No, wait, that came out bad.
No,
I'm back. It was a telemarketer. I got a no caller ID, and I'm waiting for an internship call, so I was just checking.
Yeah, fair enough. Nature calls.
I accidentally just turned into a pedo for a second.
Aiden said he likes kids.
I still have my headphones in. I heard the entire thing.
All right.
Back about my IQ rant. Intelligence quota was designed to, in its original form, was designed to see how, if I remember correctly, bilingual children or non-bilingual children adapt to a new school between the ages of between year 1 and year 6. So using it in any adult perspective thing is actually incredibly problematic. And the idea that there is a number that boils down to how much you know and what your problem solving ability is it's a problem. I don't like using IQ in any of scripts for whatever reason unless it's to debunk it.
Crikey.
I just think Miss Evangelista looked kind of fucked up. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, can we talk about that? That's pretty wacky.
Yeah.
I love how they just took the warp tool on Photoshop and just went, whoop,
totally.
That's how I was thinking. They're like, we just move her chin down here.
It's pretty warped. And I love how Cal screams. That's literally my reaction when I saw her as a kid. I was like, this is fucked. This is awful. But like, it's very eerie how she's like, none of these kids are real, none of your children are real. And again, like Catherine Tate's performance, like you get to see her change into someone who's like a protective mother, and it's great. But of course, we later get to see the scene where they're in the bed and she's like looking after them, and then just like that, they're gone.
That's
fucked up. That's so spooky.
But as I talked about earlier, that the Catherine's acting in that scene is just incredible.
It is.
Because that screaming with grief, I've been watching a lot of police procedurals, and that dumb screaming, like when you're upset, can look very corny and very kooky and like very stupid, but it comes off earnest in this, and it's great.
Totally. And then from there on, it's just like I just like cry for like 20 minutes through the episode. Really, like it's just emotionally fucking draining.
One of the standout scenes for me was it's not revealed straight away what River tells the Doctor. We later find out just before she's about to go in and sacrifice herself. Obviously, she says his name, but I love how that's instantly how the Doctor trusts her, because he knows that there's no way on earth he'd ever say his name unless he completely and utterly trusts her. And that's just such a great scene.
I have a bone to pick with that. So she learns his name off screen. In all of the media, there is no instance of him. She in the Trenzalore episode, she's the one that opens the door by saying the Doctor's name, even though she's a ghost. Yeah, it's very weird. But it's insinuated in this and later on that the only time he can say his name to her is at his wedding. But at his wedding, what he said to her was, "Look into my eye."
Yeah, so, literally.
That's a good name. To be fair.
The Doctor, look into my eye.
Yeah, literally. That's what I was thinking. It must be off screen.
That's Moff creating too many mysteries and not solving them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was thinking as well when I was watching it. I was like, hang on a minute, when did he even do it? Because he doesn't do it in Wedding the River Song. So, yeah, I don't know. Good scene though, fun. I like how the Vashnarada kind of just carries around that woman, but she's actually dead. And she's been dead for a while. But it's just been carrying her around.
And the Doctor clocks it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Smart ass. I love him. Smart ass Doctor. Really good scene.
And he assigns her to him so that they don't have to go through her, her team don't have to see her death. It's great.
I love it. Yeah. I love how he gets them he's like, I'll fix this. I will fix it. I'll let it go that you killed someone I really care about and thought was really brave. And it just drops to the floor because it's just bones and the shadow leaves.
Yeah.
Really cool.
There is a spooky bit at one point where we actually see the Vashnarada. I think it might be in part 1 where we see the Vashnarada eat somebody. We don't see it happen, but we see the spacesuit and the way that it shakes and the sound that comes of it.
Yeah, piranhas,
as all the flesh is pretty much being ripped off of the bones and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I find the scarier moment the moment when it's that body steps forward and the skull hits the screen, the plate of the
it's a really clever idea. I wish I liked it more. I really do, because I feel like it's really smart and clever, and it's so original. And you've got to give Moffat props for being so out there with his stories. I wish I liked it more. I really do.
Yeah,
I really do. But it is what it is.
Can we have our standard Murray Gold tangent now before we go on to
of course us every week
the behind the scene facts?
Well, one of the we still have the climax kind of to go through, but
it's to do with the climax. So
yeah, go on. The greatest story never told. Fuck me.
Oh yeah. But I love how the ultimate climax where he puts the sonic screwdriver with River's consciousness into the computer, that's the season 4 Doctor's theme, but it's without the choir. And I find that incredibly interesting because I think they save that epic choral moment, A, for the Doctor's regeneration, and B, for Journey's End. So it's the same theme, but just without the choir. And I really enjoy the fact that they had the forethought to keep even though this is an epic moment and the music is epic, they can make it more epic because Doctor Who has a lot of overuse of certain music, and yes, and they did the smart move in this one, which was good.
For sure.
I love how the Doctor gets completely KO'd by River.
Connor, that's the fourth time today where you've literally said exactly what I was about to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, smart minds think alike. What can I say?
That's damn right.
I love that.
It's just a love tap, guys. Don't worry about it.
Literally, it was done with peace and love. He just boom, KO'd. And it looks pretty good.
The way I was going to describe it was, don't you love that River beats the fuck out of the Doctor, was what I was going to say.
I love it. And it's such an emotional scene. I love how he's handcuffed. And we get to hear spoilers again. I hate that saying, by the way. I hate when everyone says spoilers. It's such a...
I love it.
Funnily enough, I have a note in my notes that the first person to say spoilers is the Doctor, in reference to the biography that Donna picks up in the first episode.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's not River in our continuity. River doesn't coin the phrase; it's the Doctor.
That's true, because it's at the start of the episode when she goes to read that book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great scene though.
Yeah, the book's cool.
When she's
the book's great.
Sacrifices herself, and we kind of already spoke about it, but yeah, it's like the beginning for the Doctor, but the end for her, and how she should have known, and the Sonic, and she speaks about the two singing towers and Drillium and all that. And obviously it all makes sense then, later on.
Yeah. There's also continuity with the Doctor's eyes being what show his age, because in Day of the Doctor, Clara figures out that John Hurt hadn't... War Doctor hadn't gone through the whole ordeal because of his eyes.
That's right.
Which I think is a lovely little touch.
That is lovely,
yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it's emotional, you know, and she sacrifices himself, everyone comes back. One of the most heartbreaking scenes of the episode for me, and again, like I said, my mum loves this episode. This is her favourite part, is when, well, not favourite, but the most emotional part for her is when, Donna's husband did exist, but he can't say her name because of the stutter, and then they just get separated and they'll never see each other again, and that certainly is emotional indeed.
Donna's has had a shit life. Okay, let's go through her life just quickly here. Her first husband has the wedding reception without her and is flirting with her best friend.
And
That's what happens.
Classic.
He's also not really there to be her husband. He's there just to kill her.
With a big spider.
Yes.
With a big spider, yeah.
Yes. I forgot about that part, yes. And then...
the main plot.
Then... Yes. The main plot, yes. And then this episode where she falls in love with someone and she loses him because of the stutter. And she thinks that she created the perfect guy in her mind, but this guy actually exists. That's the saddest part.
It's so sad.
Then she has to go through an entire reality and kill herself in order to save the Doctor. And then she's forced to forget everything because she's part of the meta crisis.
Totally. It's crazy. There's also just in terms of what her companions' normal adventures were versus what other companions are, she had to watch the entire fucking Pompeii die pretty much.
That was hectic.
The shit with the Ood, just all that stuff is
just don't travel with the Doctor. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. What did you say?
Just don't travel with him.
True.
She should have listened to Martha.
The fires of Pompeii. When there's my favorite headcanon ever is that in the fires of Pompeii it's actually 12, and he's just trolling 10 the entire time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So because the TARDIS disappears and he's like, who would want a blue box? And it's just Capaldi going, I have the box.
We'll see when we get to the Big Finish 12th Doctor Adventures when Peter Capaldi comes into Big Finish. Maybe they'll do that.
I hope he does. I really do.
I'd love that. Okay. And then the Doctor, saves River. We'll talk about that before, how sort of great that moment is.
She goes to the forest to spend the rest of her days.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
She's dead.
She's dead. What a tragic end, but so good.
But the start.
It's such a good ending, even though it's just the beginning.
Yeah, totally.
It's
the beginning.
It's a good ending for the character overall. If you've watched the rest of the show, it's really well done.
Yeah.
And then when she says hello, sweetie, at the first time, that's the most depressing moment of the entire 2 episodes, but we didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
She goes, hello, sweetie, and he goes, leave. Just
get out, yeah.
Yeah. And then there is kind of a little bit of a cringy thing where she just turns the light off at the end. But hey.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it be like that, I feel like I have one more point to say about the ending. Was there another scene we missed or something?
It really do be like that sometimes. What, the clicking of the fingers?
Oh, the Doctor clicking his fingers to open the TARDIS?
Aiden, that's 5
great.
times. That's 5 times. You.
Yeah. But that is great, that scene. And it's silly, and at the time I was like, that's so dumb. Why are they doing this shit? But now I kind of love it. Like, why the fuck can't he do that? Like, this is fun.
But it's super cool because she's like, my doctor's the one that can click his fingers to open the TARDIS. And in saying that, she creates her own doctor.
Yeah, true, yeah.
It's a lovely kind of causality loop there.
Totally.
There's one more thing I wanted to say. Hold on. You guys keep talking while I'm thinking.
Doctor Who is good. This was a good one. This was a good episode that existed. Okay, I'll talk about Big Finish for a moment, shall I?
Yeah, go
on. Yeah, it's great, eh? It was like a 4-episode series, Diary of River Song Volume 1, or Series 1, whatever it is. And it was like this great mix of like the first 3 episodes having like standalone stories, but still somehow carrying over this larger plot, and then the 4th episode being like the climax of all that. And it was very River. Like the first episode was like kind of like an archaeologist, like ancient dig, and it was really cool and probably my favorite episode of the 4. And then the second one is like this really, like they're on a spaceship where it's just like a really glamorous party, right? And it's like a bit of like a whodunit on the spaceship, which was cool. And then the third one was like this super eerie, creepy, dark episode. Just like it just felt like it was really set like in deep space, which I really fucked with. And then the last one was just kind of like a big action, explosive, everything comes together kind of vibe. But Alex Kingston, just like she was I just had this urge. I just felt like she would be a really good gateway into Big Finish. And she's just great. Like even hearing David and Catherine's Big Finish a while ago and stuff, every now and then there is like the odd line where you can kind of tell they're reading a script right in front of them, you know? But with Alex, It was like, it was Alex, man. Like it was River. She was...
Does the Doctor get mentioned at all? Really was he in it, or...?
Paul McGann's Doctor is in the finale.
Cool.
Which is cool. It's like a thing where she knows she can't meet him, so they don't have any scenes properly together other than like she's talking over an intercom to him. So she's got to like try and save the Doctor without actually...
That's sick.
...being able to go and save him.
I love it. That's really cool.
Paul McGann's voice is one of the best voices out of all of the Doctors, to be honest. Like
so good on Big Finish, man.
It's just got so much pizzazz, ganache.
Yeah, it's lit.
It's freaking great. Did you think of what you were going to say, Zave?
It was in relation to her saying hello, sweetie. So the fact that that the Doctor doesn't know, and we later come to learn that, it's a lovely, it's just an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Shall we move on then to Australia's favourite segment?
Yep.
Let's do it, boys and girls. It's time for Goof of the Week. So I got 2 this week, but one of them I'm not sure because I second guessed it later on.
Okay.
The first one that I have is I saw a boom.
Did you?
Yeah, there's a boom. There's actually 2 in the episode, but I only saw one of them. And
Did you see a blimp or a boom?
A blimp, technically, yeah. But
okay, yeah. Because I was confused.
Yeah. Well, you just see the little blimp of the boom pole, sort of just coming in the middle of one of the shots, where it's when the phone's ringing, and it's a wide shot of Cal's dad, in the kitchen.
Oh, I think I remember that. I thought it was a light, but yeah, that makes complete sense.
I thought it might be, and then I was looking at the other shots, and I was like, I don't think there's a light there.
Yeah, right.
And I found it online. Yeah, and then the second one, which I'm not sure if it was in the sets where they're running through the big parts of the library where it's all kind of CGI, and then when they run into the main sort of circular room that they're in for a lot of the first part of the episode of the story, the sets, the CGI set going through into the main real practical set didn't line up. Like they were running through a corridor And there's a door at the end of the corridor, but then when they go through the door, there's a wall behind the door of books. Does anyone else? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or am I just saying random shit?
Kinda, but
like that. Imagine they've been running down a corridor, and there's a door at the end of the corridor. But when we see from inside the room they've just gone into, and we see out the door, there's like a wall blocking where they ran from, and I guess it's alluded that they ran around a corner into the room.
All right.
I don't know.
Sorry, I've just realised that the Metacrisis Doctor wouldn't know what to say to Rose in the situation at the end of the end of the world. Sorry, that's where my brain went just now.
What?
What?
What are you on?
I had an ADHD moment. I'm so sorry, but you know how on Bad Wolf Bay at the end of Journey's End, the Rose turns to both the doctors and goes, "So what were you going to say to me on that day on the beach?" And the Metacrisis Doctor leans down and whispers what we presume is "I love you," and then she kisses him. He later says that you need to take care of the Metacrisis Doctor because he was born in fire and he only knows the memories from up until Christmas Day. So how the hell did he know what to say?
Oh, God. I don't know, maybe he just had his memories.
Yeah, but the Doctor specifically said, because this one has one heart and he's human and he was born in fire, he only has the memories up until Christmas Day. Like, that's a specific line that's said by the Doctor
Xavier for
to the
showrunner.
Metacrisis Doctor.
I'm just calling it.
Xavier for showrunner. It'll be the most scientifically accurate series of Doctor Who you'd see in your entire life.
No mistakes.
Yeah, no reversing the polarity of the neutron flow.
Of course not.
Any goo for the weeks?
Neutrons have no charge. You can't reverse the polarity.
No, I don't have any actually. I'm shocked for Goo for the weeks these days, but no, I couldn't see any.
Save?
No, I'm not really keeping an eye out for it.
That's all good. Because we got TARDIS Wiki that has a bunch.
Boom.
Oh, hey.
Hey, so in the first part, after Riversong greets the Doctor with "Hello, sweetie," in the next shot of the Doctor, Donna and River, a boom mic is just barely visible in the top left corner above River's head. So that's the second time that there's a boom mic in the episode. After the shot in which proper Dave is seen to have two shadows, there is a short shot from a different camera angle wherein the Doctor passes Dave his helmet. In this short shot, Dave is seen to have but one shadow. When the shot returns to the previous camera, Dave has two shadows as before. Silly.
That's incidental. It's fine.
When the Doctor and others are talking to the little girl on her TV, you can see them all standing around the console. But when the shot pulls back and why are these sentences so long? When the Doctor and the others are talking to the little girl on the TV, you can see them all standing around the console. But when the shot pulls back and they all back away from the console, you can see that half of them have changed positions. Mr. Lux, Proper Dave, Anita, and Miss Evangelista have all changed from their positions seen on the TV to when you cut to the group. Also, Donna, who is clearly close to the Doctor's right, is not shown leaning to look at the console, but jumps back like everyone else as if she has been looking into it. Do you understand that one? That was way too wordy.
I kind of get it, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got it.
When a Miss Evangelista
Basically what
dies,
it's saying was between the shots, the characters moved. That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know why it was a paragraph. When Miss Evangelista dies, you can see that she has lost one green bar, but in a later shot, she loses the same bar again.
Ha!
Which I did notice, but my headcanon put it off as like, it's kind of like a glitchy software where it kind of like goes up a bit.
Yeah, it's going a bit
down.
haywire.
Well, it was flashing. Like, why couldn't it have been off in that particular moment and turn on in the other one?
Yeah,
It was flashing, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one for part one is that it's the boom mic that I mentioned later on in the episode.
Oh, hey, so it is a thing. Cool.
It is a thing. Anyways,
I
the
got-
goofs. What was that?
Oh, no, that's goofs of the week, yes.
Goofs of the week for part two. Quite a few as well. The two times we see the Doctor's sonic screwdriver project the image of Donna, the Doctor's tone of voice is different. Oh. Interesting. When the Doctor tells River and Donna spoilers, and walks down the staircase. As the camera pans downward with him, the camera boom's reflection can be seen on one of the books. Interesting. Several times when the Doctor headlines River's sonic screwdriver... Sorry, what? Several times when the Doctor handles River's sonic screwdriver, the camera changes to not match up to his hand positions on the screwdriver. So it's just little finger differences on the screwdriver. When Anita gets 2 shadows after she says, "Didn't do proper Dave any good," she only has 1 shadow. When they get away from the swarm, she has the 2 shadows again. Shortly after Donna's children are taken to the playground, Ella runs by with a scraped left knee, long before she actually injures herself there. That's funny.
That's kind of funny.
When Charlotte throws the TV remote away in rage, it can be seen that the shot in which the remote hits the floor is archive footage from Silence in the Library. As before Charlotte throws the remote, the bottom of it's badly scratched, but when the remote hits the floor, the bottom is intact. Interesting. That was Good for the Week for this week. There was a lot of them. Bum.
So before closing notes, I'd like to mention that after I finished watching all 3 episodes, because I watched the I can't remember what it's called, but the second to last River Song episode.
Husbands of River Song.
The Husbands of River Song. Yeah. I got super depressed because I kind of had this realization that all of the shows that I love are no longer the shows that I love anymore. Like Star Trek's not Star Trek anymore. Doctor Who's not Doctor Who anymore.
Damn right.
I just got super down.
Damn. Well, this took a left turn.
That's the depressing turn.
Yeah, well, I think what's good, though, is that we have, like... For me, I'll always at least have 10 series of the show that I love.
Yeah.
And there's always the possibility that the show can maybe come back to where it once was, you know?
That's literally what I said this week, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, Aiden's copying me with what I'm saying.
I am. So, yeah, I wouldn't let it get to you too much, Dave.
Thanks.
I tried.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. It was just something that I picked up on. I'm like, why isn't Doctor Who like this anymore?
Yeah.
And
totally.
then I went, why isn't Star Trek like Star Trek anymore? And then I just kind of went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Why isn't Star Wars like Star Wars anymore?
Yeah, that's true.
The Mandalorian's perfect. Shut up.
It's pretty good.
For what we've been given, because
Yeah.
Star Wars has always been up and down. The Mandalorian, besides Clone Wars, because Clone Wars is like gold tier, platinum tier, upper echelon of the best Star Wars thing ever made.
The GOAT.
The Mandalorian is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We still have behind the scenes to do, by the way.
Oh, we do? Okay, cool.
It's time for Australia's second favourite segment. Is behind the
my favourite.
scenes.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Every week I change it.
I'm
You
going to
do.
get my tuba out next time, and
Yeah,
I'm going
do
to
that.
play
Do that.
something.
Do that. Do that. That'd be
So-
sick.
As always, as with the last 2 episodes, I've gone ahead and I've just ripped out a couple of bits that are most noticeable because just reading straight off of the website it just sounds so bad. So this app was these 2 episodes were originally meant to be for season 3, and I believe they were going to be pretty early on, but that's when they decided to do the Dalek 2-parter instead. And then Moffat instead was like, "Oh no, I'll happily write the Dr. Light episode." So it kind of got pushed back a series because of that.
So that's how we got the Weeping Angels episode.
Yeah.
Blink.
Yeah.
That's how we got Blink.
Yep.
Wow, that's one of those wacky coincidences that, like, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever.
Yeah. But then that also leads into the thing that, like, I get River as a character, I guess, wasn't because that was in season 3 when Moffat would have had no idea, definitely, that he was taking over. But then the second thing about that as well is that River was created specifically to make this story work. So Moffat either, I guess, was writing it and then was like, I can actually do some really good shit with this in the future. Or like he just fucking winged it. And I don't know which one's more accurate.
I think he winged it. It's honestly a very Moff thing to do.
Yeah, just wing it, see where he ends up. So that's just interesting because she just seems so like well written, like he knows exactly what he was going to do with her, but he didn't. Like she talks about the crash of the Byzantium, all these notable events that do end up happening. So yeah.
Well, if he just winged it, they could have gotten into the writers' room for season 5 and gone, okay, we're bringing River back. What has she mentioned, and what can we show?
Yeah, it would have been that. Yeah, totally. Anyways, the second part of this episode was originally going to be called River's Run. Classic. That's one thing about Big Finish. There's so many lines here and there where she's like...
As in like...
where Alex will be like...
As in like a pun on rivers.
Yeah. There's all the times in Big Finish
stupid.
where bloody River will... For example, she's on a dam at one point and the creature needs water. And she's like, I'll give you water. I'll give you a whole river or something. God. And then like breaks the dam and floods it all. It's not as corny as I just said it then, but it is still like a mildly corny line where she like references herself. I think that happens like 2 or 3 times in the season. And every time I was like, oh God. Another noticeable thing, and my last fact of the day, is that Catherine's wedding dress in the scene is the same one from The Runaway Bride.
Oh, cool.
Cool. That's the BBC only having one costume department.
Literally.
As we know,
Honestly,
because the Doctor
so
and Sherlock wear the same clothes all the time.
I saw that meme. That's so funny. Yeah. Anyways, any last notes about the episode before we get into the scores? Shall we summarize?
Pretty standard. Never loved it. I know other people do. I'm so sorry for saying this, but I didn't really like it that much. Never really have, and I'm not a huge fan of River. I'm so sorry.
Dickhead.
Sorry.
What's your score?
You're gonna hate me.
Are we doing 2? Because I have 2 separate ones.
Yeah, I got 2 scores.
No. We do one combined story score. It's how it's always been.
Has it always been like that? Has it?
We've always done that, and we have this conversation every time.
Have we? I don't remember that. All right,
every time there's a 2-parter, you're like, okay, are we doing it 2 or 1? And I'm like, we always do what? 1.
You're going to hate me for saying this. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Jesus.
I was going to give it a 6, but 6.5.
Wow.
Sorry.
I don't like you today,
Sorry.
Connor.
Sorry.
You're like 20 hours late.
Sorry. 20 hours?
And now you're giving this great episode a shit
That's a bit
score.
extreme.
Technically, he's a week late because we were going to do it Monday if it wasn't.
We were meant to do it on Monday.
It was
so
my
5
sister's
days late, actually.
birthday, and I couldn't do it. I apologise.
Well, look.
I said let's do it Tuesday, and Aiden said no.
That's entirely your fault, Connor.
Aiden said no to Tuesday.
It's solely your responsibility.
Aiden said no to Tuesday.
I said no to Tuesday. I said I could do Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday, obviously. And you're like, no, I can't do any other day.
I could have done any day.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I couldn't do Wednesday and Thursday. I'm sorry.
We don't really care, Connor.
Friday.
We just like bullying you.
No.
Dave, hit me.
I'll go last. You do it before me.
Why? But guest usually goes first. Is the issue we ran into?
Yeah. Well, can't we change the format for a second?
All right. So I thought this just for you, Xav. I thought that I fucked with this episode big time. I loved it. Like I said, the second part I think was definitely the strongest part, despite maybe it having the silliest part where he like goes through the floor and whatnot. but I still loved it. I think it looked great. The score is some of the best Murray's done since like late season 3, and the acting was great. I loved River so much it made me want to do Big Finish, and yeah, so I'm giving it a drum roll, please. Somebody, yeah, thank you. I'm giving it a 9.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit! Are you
I love
serious?
this one.
Wowee.
I loved it, man. I seriously loved it.
Man, what have I been like doing in my life? How does everyone love this episode?
Zave, go on.
Okay, so I really, really enjoyed the second episode. I think that's much better than the first. So, going on my original inclination, I rated the first one 7.5 and the second one 9. So, doing a little bit of maths, that means it comes to around 8.25.
8.25 for Zave. Wow, I'm the highest ranking. That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. That's crazy. I can't believe it. You guys really like it.
It's
I don't know, I've
fucking
spoken to a
good.
few people who don't, so yeah, I guess. It's okay.
But I mean, I yeah.
6.5 is pretty good. It's not terrible.
No,
pretty standard.
it's better than average.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just to be fair, I mean, I've already watched Midnight. I watched Midnight before I watched these 2 parts because I recorded a quick 10-minute segment with my friend, which will air next week.
I see.
And man, it's so much better. It's so much better.
No.
I'm sorry, but we'll get there next week.
Well, we'll
We'll
see.
Midnight
I'll
was
probably
the
watch
episode
Midnight
you were
after
using
this.
to introduce your friend to it, right?
Yeah, so he's watched a few episodes, but he doesn't like Doctor Who, so I don't know, he's always watched episodes where I'm watching it with my best mate Dan, who comes on the show and normally does bad episodes. So I was kind of sick of that. I was like, look, you're just watching bad ones, so no wonder you think it's crap. So I wanted to show him a really good one. And I won't spoil anything, but it was definitely an interesting conversation. It's literally like 10 minutes. I recorded it last week on Sunday. It's a good conversation.
I'd like to apologize for bagging you over messages about choosing Midnight because upon reflection,
yeah, we spoke last week about
I think it's the best one. I agree with you that it's the best one to go to start someone off with, because though Blink is a very, very good episode, it's a Doctor Light episode, so you don't really get the Doctor.
Yeah.
And Midnight is an incredible episode, and it has the Doctor, and it removes his companion, so it gives you just the Doctor and Merlin.
He also loves like seeing how humans like can turn against each other in situations that are like that. So I was like, that'd be perfect to show him. I want to show him Waters of Mars as well. Yeah. Eventually. But no, it was a really cool conversation.
Waters of Mars is great.
Yeah, Waters of Mars is lit. And we're nearly there, which is going to be awesome. So I'm really gassed to watch Turn Left, and then the final would be fucking sick. I can't wait.
So good. And then the specials, and then on to Series 5, which I cannot fucking wait for.
I'm gassed.
Just some Smith. We've just been on David for a while. I'm keen for some Smith.
I'd like to mention that...
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, Zave. I know it.
What am I going to say?
So we usually end with our 2 recurring guests, Dan and Zave. We always talk about where we're going to, what episode they'd like to be on next time. Is that where you're going, Zave?
And what do you continue elaborate?
And you, and I already pretty much reserved this in my headcanon for you.
Here we go.
Can come back on for Vincent and the Doctor, because I know, Zave.
Yes.
Fantastic choice.
Thank you. But there's a reason for that, and that's the writer. Sorry, not the
that's
director,
what I thought,
the writer. Yeah. And we'll get into that when we do it. But
interesting.
That's for those who have been following my journey on this podcast, you might already know why. But
for the Xavier fans.
Yes, I don't know why there would be any Xavier fans, but hey,
I'm a Xavier fan.
It exists. Yeah. But use the contactable mechanism. Say if you're a Xavier fan. It would be cool. Anyway, what I was actually going to say was that... Now I've forgotten.
Sorry.
Damn it. You...
Sorry.
It was about this episode. So we were talking about what episodes genuinely freaked me out, and Waters of Mars was another one. Because that's a thing that could legitimately happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's a reality warping kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't watch Apollo 13 because of the same reason. It's just anything that could legitimately fuck up someone freaks me out.
Yeah, spooky.
Yeah, totally agree.
I can't wait for that.
Can't
one.
wait to watch it.
Just can't wait for Doctor Who to get into HD.
Yeah, boy.
Planet of the Dead.
Like 4 episodes to go.
Honestly. Whew.
All right.
All right, boys. That's a wrap on this episode.
It's time to do the theme song that Dylan hates. I found out this week.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I always skip the ending song. And I'm like, come on, bro.
Could I suggest something? Maybe
What?
controversial.
Oh no.
New Doctor, new theme.
Oh my god.
How dare you? How dare you?
Wait, does Dylan hate the rap theme or the end theme, the outro?
No, the end theme, the couples therapy theme.
Fuck. What are you talking about? We didn't
It's
steal this from
classic.
couples therapy. We don't say that, Connor. We don't say that on the show.
True.
Didn't happen.
No one knows that.
Didn't hear any of that.
It's our own theme song.
It's from Schmupple's Therapy.
That's
there
right.
you go. The spin-off.
That's exactly
the
right.
spin-off. That's
Um,
right.
Yeah, well, you know what, Dylan? I'm going to sing it extra loud this time for you, buddy.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to it. It's
You
fine.
can skip it, or you can hear me scream it.
Well, you know that this is the conclusion of the podcast. There's nothing after this, so just skip it.
But like
Well,
the
there's
podcast
always a
that I
little
listen
tiny,
to,
like, tiny-
there's a show I listen to called Fake Doctors Real Fans with Zach and Donald, and it's the Scrubs rewatch show, and they have like a theme song that's also the same as the outro, but it's like a properly like produced. It sounds like a musical number, and every time it comes on, you're like, "Fuck yeah, new episode, let's do it!" And it's such a vibe, and it's just so funky that even at the outro, I'm like, I've got to stick through it. It's only like 15 seconds long. It's fun. So
That's how
Zave,
people feel about one.
well, no,
I have the same thing.
ours is just
And there's a
so
podcast
shit.
I listen to called Ah, You're So Good, and it's by Rozzy and Scott Hoying, who are both musicians. So they have this theme that is just them harmonizing with each other multiple times, and it's just beautiful, and you can't not listen to it because they're musicians, and it's just beautiful.
That's how people feel about our podcast outro.
That's right. The harmonies. Anyways, Zave, do you know the words yet?
No, I don't.
Oh, fuck.
That's all right. You get to hear it live.
Can you do like a Vale Dacum hum in the background as we do it?
Like the countertenor hum. You mean like, and also it's Valet Decem, but sure.
Sorry, I do that every time.
like countertenor, or like, what do you want me? Where do you want me?
Just give us something in the background, Zave. All right. That's what I'll request.
Cool.
All right, this one's for you, Dylan. Take it away, Connor.
All right. You ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a skiddly diddly do.
It's Aidan's and Connor's podcast. We're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doing Doctor Who reviews for you.
That was a right mess, and you changed the tempo halfway through, and I was trying to go along with it.
I'm not a fucking musician, Zave. What do you want from me?
Tempo.
Look, you are outranked because there are two out of the 3 people on this episode are musicians.